All right, great people, what's going on? I want to welcome every people, person, place, or thing. Y'all know what it is. All right. My life is love. Check it out. Take a couple moments. Let the beings come on in. Get on the airwave. Sorry I can't get you all in the building. As you see, it's not enough room for you. But I can get you signified, and thereby you can come amongst and join in the web. All right? Make sure y'all share this. I'm going in real deep with some real profound information. And it's going to be a lovely stream. It's been a while since I did the YouTube. Let me refresh my intellect out as to how this thing is ran. So give me a minute. And I'm going to figure some things out, get us all set up here. And we're going to get started. All right? The title of this tune that you're listening to here is called My Life is Love. You can definitely get in the comment section here. I see we can do that. You can go ahead and hit the like button if you will. Yeah, so that was My Life is Love. And that's what I do. That's what I exert, people. People ask me occasions, one of the questions they may ask me, am I religious? I don't shy away from it. Yes, my religion is love. I am filled with a overwhelming amount of love that encompasses most intel. Now, like I said, I have to be in remembrance of my different setup here that I'm doing. Normally, I do Facebook streams, but I told myself earlier, I said, I've been neglecting my YouTube channel. And to me, neither one is more important than the other. My only means is just having an avenue in which not just you, but me myself have something that I can go and do some reflecting and contemplating on some constructive and positive, uplifting, empowering information. And this is why I think I come to the table. Now, I be doing these Facebook streams, as I said earlier, and I was doing some reading. So I want to stop doing it on Facebook, take a little break, and put this YouTube uh, content out here about Mr. Nikola Tesla. Now, before I get to reading out of the autobiography of Nikola Tesla, let's go over some ideas. I'm going to read these ideas, and then what we want to do is pretty much weigh in on this. All right? We pretty much want to, not so much. If it sounds feasible, reasonable, then we're going to run with it. You can always add it to your arsenal. But if it don't suit you well, fit this paradigm, this day and time, then after we have dissect this information, digest it, and then manifest it, we want to uplift it. We want to revise it too. You see, because this information that I'm going to read, more than likely, pretty much is some information of the 1900s. Check. So we don't want to move into what we think is time, although there's no such thing as time. There's nothing but a continuum of existence. But for the sake of conversating and being amongst the humans here on Earth, we're going to use the concept of time. Because, first of all, nobody wants to stay stagnated, whether it's physically, mentally, or spiritually. If your paycheck is being increased and your lifestyle is increasing, then it should be also increasing in other aspects and levels of yourself. This is why I get into the idea of telling people stop associating this avatar that you see in the mirror or that you're looking at right now and subscribing it to all and who that I am. Tupac told you best. You can't see me. You blind. Because you keep looking at the physical and thinking, because this hat I got on look nice. And you say, oh, look at Nate. He looks so good. No, I don't. If you really see me, you'll probably run. When the mystery of the self is unveiled, we can wake up to the understanding. You'll bypass everything that's under the stand and even over. You have to start to have an inner. You know what I'm talking about? Understanding that we are not linear beings living a linear life. Rather, my earthlings, you are dimensional beings living dimensional lives. But see what happened? I'm gonna tell you what happened. And I know I said I'm gonna do some reading, but y'all know how I like to run my mouth. And you know what really makes me run my mouth? Stupidity. Dumb shit throughout the day. And instead of me lashing out physically, I come back mentally. Sometimes I do it on the war board, or what is known called as chess. I'll take it out on somebody on the chest. I don't act out. You very rarely will you see me get out of character. I exert my energy in different ways, which is very unknown to many. But trust me, this universe is taking an ass whooping. What did you think? That the hail, the rain, the snow, the sleet, so-called earthquakes or shakes, is caused by a mystery being or God? Or is it caused by the Son of Man? Talk light to me. See, like I said, I was gonna do it on the Facebook channel. But I said, let me do the YouTube. Because I got a YouTube family out here that's very powerful. And you all know who you are. Big ups. Namaste. Ashe. And all that good stuff. And all that good stuff. And all that good stuff. Ivory. Huh? Is that what we say when you giving glad tidings? Grand rising. Or will you prefer a more debased type of element coming to you as hello? Huh? Good morning. You ever have somebody tell you good morning? Just let them know you don't mourn. I'm not mourning of anything. I don't need good mornings. I don't have good mornings. There's no such thing as a good morning. Either you're going to mourn or you're not. That's dumb. And see, that's what makes me get on here and speak correct information, right reasoning and right logic. You see? The beauty behind the infinite probabilities that await you and me is that the only way we can change those futures is to change ourselves in the present infinite moment, because this is actually what is the real. The experiencing that you are witnessing right here at this moment. What happened yesterday ain't real. It's gone. If you want to experience the supernatural in your own life, by healing your body, creating new opportunities you could never have ever even imagined before, and having transcended mystical experiences, you first need to master the concept of the present moment. the eternal now. Stop thinking that somebody sent you here to so that. Hold on. Let me cut this music down. Stop thinking that you were sent here by God and for a appointed term, depending on how you feared. Feared, okay? Fared, I think it's spelled. Feared, or in other words, your outcome of what you've done will determine whether you're going to burn in some fire or go sit on a nice, what, pink cloud behind the pearly gates with some beautiful women and some handsome men with fine jewelry and silk on. That's what it say in the Hadith for the Muslims, Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. I read them books. I know what it say. I can't make this up, people. You think that I'm going to depend on my conduct here on earth? This seemed like a game to me, first of all. And we're not going to play no games about this life of mine. Because we can end it right now and start all over until you be your way and until me be mine. And that way, we can cut out all the bullshit and everybody will just have an existence that is suitable and comfortable for them. As opposed to coming to earth and you got to figure out whether you should be doing this, that thing, or the other. What religion you should be believing in. Whose religion is right. Is the president wrong? No. You came to earth because that's what you decided to do. You knew this once a long time ago. You just forgot. Why? Because you fell off the wall. The same wall truck. I don't mean to bring this up, but it's funny and ironic how this man kept talking about a goddamn wall. And the wall is very significant in the creation of every civilization. Two things: there's a wall and the rock. Jesus was the rock. Malcolm told you that you got hit in the head with Plymouth Rock, and Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall and cracked his head open, I guess. And all the king's horsemen and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. Ain't that the riddle? Come on now. I can't make this up. So who are they talking about? Why is there any evidence of the wall that this man had talked about? We still don't. No one's really clear as to what became of a wall, or is there a wall at all? If it is some type of barrier, is it actually a wall, or just a fence, or is it just the same fence that's been up there, or is it the same fence that's been up there and they cut holes in it and it's just been patched up a little bit? Like, it's not clear. That's because just like it was with the police defundment, I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the picture. I didn't peep the forked tongue that was being spoken, the unseen gender. You see? Witches, grandmaster, and sorcerers will never tell you exactly what is going to happen. They will riddle your intel in a different direction while playing a different game. This is politics at least of the beings that partake in what I've just explained, let alone those on a higher grander scale of and things of existence. Remember, the Bible tell you, you fighting not flesh and blood, but principalities in high places. Yes, them niggas. Excuse me. I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say niggas either, because in some people's minds, a niggas is very respectful and welcome. Professor X. All right, I see some comments in this section. That's what's up. I don't know if that's the Professor X the Professor X. What was group with Flavor Flav in them? But welcome along, and for sure, I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you checking out the information. Uh, I got some information I'm going to be sharing, and basically, you already heard, you already know. Subscribe to the Facebook channel too. My airway is nothing about but empowering self. There's a lot going on around and also in us. Let us keep this in mind. And the best way that I can deal with the times that is at hand is to just get a deeper relationship with myself. And I say that for the simple fact that information is not something that is welcomed in everybody's backyard. I'm being careful how I'm wording this because number one, I don't speak because I know how powerful words are, and I don't want to put nothing in existence or make fruition of anything. And I don't want to talk about pinpoint as to what we see and have heard in the news in reference to elite individuals who were very conscious and somehow unbeknownly and mysteriously their physical came to a, a ugly demise. Okay, so what am I saying? First of all, getting back to the information about or the idea, let's say the idea of the infinite and dealing in the present moment and how I can take on ideas and bring them to light in my own manner to bring about my supernatural self. And we do this by healing our bodies and creating new opportunities. You know, we first need to master the concept of the present moment. How we need to understand that how we think and how we actually feel literally creates our personal reality. I'm going to say that again. How we actually think and how we feel literally creates our personality. So we're going to stop there. And this brings me to the reading of Nikola Tesla. You see, because his concept about energy and electricity, you can associate and relate to that of yourself. And maybe perhaps if he was here, or I met him in that time, he would have to agree with me. Your concept of the micro is no less than that of the same in the macro. Or, as we say, as above, so below, as within, so without. Huh? So when we look at the world around us on nature, we are impressed with its beauty and grandeur. Each thing we perceive, though it may be vanishingly small, is in itself a world that is like the whole of the universe, matter and force governed by law. A world, the contemplation of which fills us with feelings of wonder and irresistible urges to ceaseless thought and inquiry. But in all this vast world of all objects, our senses reveal to us the most marvelous, the most appealing to our imagination. Appears no doubt a highly developed organism, a thinking being. Listen, this is profound here. If there is anything fitted to make us an admiral nature's handiwork, it is certainly this inconceivable structure which performs its innumerable motions of obedience to external influences. To understand its working, to get a deeper insight into nature's masterpiece, has ever been the thinkers of fascinating aim. And after many centuries of ardorous research, men have arrived at a fair, it has here, understanding of the functions of its origins and senses. Again, in all the perfect harmony of its parts, of the parts which constitute the material or tangible of our being, of all its organs and senses, the I is the most wonderful. And that's spelled EYE, not S. Okay? The I is the most wonderful. It is the most precious, the most indispensable of our perceptive or directive organs. It is the great gateway through which all knowledge enters the mind. So let's stop there. Let's weigh in on a little bit of this. We're not gonna make like the schools in America or the Eurocentric uh, settings where you just pretty much sit there, the teacher read. Some people start falling asleep. Some people have no fucking idea what you're reading, what it is saying. Some people understand, but they can't quite pinpoint because there's too many words that they haven't yet become familiar with. Then you got the ones who understand and they want to interrupt and ask questions, but they know that they afraid and you can't do that because she gonna look at them or he gonna like. They already know the smart ones. Don't you interrupt this here shit because they don't want you to wake the whole class up. That's why they got to play the part when you start getting disrupted. They make like you're the one that's messing up and you're the one that's going to get suspended. So let's weigh in on this. Like I said, we're not going to sit here and regurgitate this because a lot of these things, like especially when it came to if there's anything fitted to make us an admiral nature's handiwork, it is certainly the inconceivable structure. We can conceive now the structure of how we are made up and how we're functioning and existing in and throughout all of our universe. Okay? So, what is the most important idea that we probably come to mind here about what we read thus far? Right. Very good. I see y'all paying attention. The I. Remember I told you? Well, I don't know if I told you here, but I did say on my Facebook stream. It is only in me I trust. I adopted that concept from a very young age when I seen it on the back of a dollar bill. And I said, and it read to me that these people trust in a God. And so it said, in God we trust. I didn't quite know what God they were making reference of. So I felt kind of left out and shunned and left alone, isolated in life growing up. Because I didn't know if your God was the same God that I had, or was everybody God the same? Was the Puerto Rican people looking at God the same? You know, is the nuns? You got to think. You sitting in a cipher in a circle of beings. You may be so called, and we just subscribe to these titles because this is how we talk in the sake of conversating and identifying. I'm the so-called black man, right? Then you got the Puerto Rican, and who else we got? You may have a Ukrainian, and come on, give me a couple more people. Mexican, and then you got the European woman, which happens to be a nun, and she tells you to close. Everybody, I want you to close your eyes and imagine your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and ask Him for forgiveness. What am I supposed to picture? Remind you, I'm in the nun sanctuary. So this is a Catholic school. And when I walk through the door, I see Jesus right there on the wall, hanging on the cross. Right? You ever been in a Catholic church or school? Right. They got Jesus everywhere, pictures and on crosses. So she tells you to close your eye. Is the Puerto Rican thinking about this picture? Come on, y'all. Let's talk light to me. Y'all know how I play because I'll start getting upset. If it get dumb, we start getting dumb. I hate the dumb shit. I do. It agitates me. It's like a goddamn disease. No, he ain't thinking about no goddamn blind haired, blue eyed man. No disrespect. Some people like them. Some women would love to have one. So as long as they would love it, then they're necessary. We need you white people with blonde hair and blue eyes. Don't go nowhere. You keep talking about you gonna be extinct. No. You're gonna be a little preserved. There may be 3%. They just telling people they're gonna be extinct by the year what was the time? 2050? Yeah. They said by the year 2050, a literally blonde head in America, you might got to go to Canada somewhere to see these people, but not in America in 2050. That's what they say. So I'm just passing the information along. I'm not making this shit up, yo. I could give two rats ass. Stop calling yourself white, and everybody will disappear by 2050. If you stop saying you black, or you stop talking about you Puerto Rican, I'll give you another statistic. You all gonna disappear and be extinct. You're just gonna be some motherfuckers, a whole bunch of niggas. That's what you're gonna be. Watch. Because you're not gonna be able to identify. Somebody in the LGB gonna get upset with you because you was in the supermarket line and you call her or him. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. So you might as well start it now. I'm telling you now. Come up with some type of ideas where y'all gonna have to identify each other within the next 50 to 100 years. You're not gonna be able to say, "Excuse me, sir. Oh, you dropped your wallet." She might turn around and say, "Excuse me," or like, yeah, this is really, really, really getting interesting. I know you see it. So that eye is the most wonderful aspect of everything we've been talking about. Ain't that right? That eye is who you are. That eye is the same frequency that, if possible, you were in a different avatar. Because some animals can see. You radiating it from a different degree. And you think this is you here on Earth looking up at the stars. Oh my goodness. Ain't that something? That explains why, if you ever remember, when Hollywood first started and they started making movies, they always made the father and the son laying out on the backyard in the grass, staring up at the stars. Did you know that? It is the most precious, the most indispensable of the organ perspective or directive organs. It is the great gateway through which all knowledge enters of all our organs. It is the one which is in the most intimate relation with that which we call intellect. So intimate is this relation that it is often said the very soul shows itself in the eye. You heard that? Listen, people. Oh, this is good. Get real juicy. Y'all better hit the heart button and share the video so you can save somebody's life. Don't leave it up to the Heart Foundation, people. You step up and save somebody's life too. Don't leave it up to Jesus Christ. He tired. He can't handle it no more. He needs your help. You said Jesus is in the life-saving business. That's what I seen on the front of your car. So don't pump fake me. I seen your Mercedes Benz or your Hummer, and you talking about Jesus is still in the life-saving business. Wow. Did he give you that car? It's not funny. See, because we use Jesus when it's convenient. When it's suitable. When I'm in trouble. I need to get about some things. So it is said that the very soul shows itself in the eye. Maybe this is why some people is afraid to look you in your eye. Because I can read your soul. Maybe this is why they tell you be careful what the eye views. For the eyes are windows to your soul. Oh, yeah. Y'all remember all that little hip shit they used to say growing up? I'll take you back a little further. White man tell you walk across the street and you better look with your eyes down. Because he couldn't take that Superman frequency coming up out of you. Don't talk to me like I don't know. I am the all-eye seeing. So much so that I'm not even going to talk much about it for the sake of the time that is at hand. Right? It's not that time, people. Relax. We're going to get there. Trust me. All that shit you see in them superheroes do on your TV, just keep in mind I'm the first to tell you those are your innate powers, yo. And they've been laying dormant. And there's now time for it to be activated. But if you ain't get the slaps, you're gonna be very supernatural. That's all I got to say. It can be taken as a fact, which the theory of the action of the eye implies that for each external impression, okay, go talk to these people at Temple, University of Penn, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, okay? Don't just take what we going over like on some light note here. I could be just sitting here hoping that you send me a cash app. And keeping you spinning as if you was on a fucking globe. Excuse the way I'm expressing. But I am not on the globe spinning. You would never get that by me. In fact, if you ever came to me talking about that might dishearten me and we may have to part ways immediately. I have very low tolerance for ignorance and stupidity. When you can't even stand on a goddamn merry-go-round and let me spin you at 30 miles an hour without talking about Nate, please stop. I'm going to fuck you up when I get off. And now you want to tell me you on Earth spinning at 1,000. You let the teacher tell you that shit. You didn't tell the teacher. You going to fuck her up. See how stupid we are? You should have said that to the teacher when she told you that goddamn globe sitting on the desk up there in the morning when I came in. And it always just so happened to be facing towards Africa. You ever notice that? Damn. Like, ain't nobody touched the globe. I swear, I used to go up there just to see. I bet not come in here tomorrow. And I make sure nobody looking. I'll spin the shit out that ball. I said that bitch better not be on Africa when I come back tomorrow morning. And sure enough, teachers sharp, y'all. Teachers stay sharp. They got a degree. They know how to psychological get you suited and fitted to perpetuate and institute their bureaucracy. Okay? That's all we are. That's all we are. Yeah, tell the truth. Tell the truth, shame the devil, grandma used to say. You know what it is. I got the old by grandma. I'm too old now. I'm tired of being bad. I'm going back to grandma. Grandma she told me the best rules. I just wish I'd implemented them when I was younger. But it's okay. I'm gonna make her proud now. You know, I had to pay for my bad behavior, my misconduct. Yeah, I was locked down under duress, threat, and coercion, people. There's no shame in my game. I've been in a university and monastery. That's all it was. You may call it a penitentiary. And a correction facility. I call it a university and a monastery. But it's no more. And to be quite honest, I'm not going to tell you to be quite frank, because I'm not frank. I'm not going to ask you to tell you I'm to be frank. But to be honest, I don't think Muhammad, Moses, and none of them, like they said, what it was. I think all them niggas got locked up too. Because that's the only way you can really get in touch with a revelation and true idealism of what's going on, by being taken away. And if you look at the story, Moses went up in the mountains for 40 days, right? He was going so long, they created a golden calf, which happens to be a bull that everybody worship and still do to this day. Like, come on. Jesus went, what? Into the temples. Nobody ain't seen his ass no more for 15 years. Or his back, or his body. For our political correct people out here. It's just ghetto talk. But I know how intelligent you are. So I'm going to keep in mind and keep my words accurate and precise. Because I don't get construed and twisted. I'm going to say what I mean and mean what I say. Sometimes I get into my thuggish, ruggish bone. And it's okay. I'm a product of the environment. Right? So, let's get back to this I. It could be taken as a fact, which the theory of the action of the eye implies that for each external impression, that is, for each image produced upon the retina, the ends of the visual nerves concerned in the conveyance of the impression to the mind must be under a peculiar stress or in a vibratory state. It now does not seem improbable that when by the power of thought an image is invoked, a distinct reflect action, no matter how weak, is exerted upon certain ends of the visual nerves and therefore upon the retina. Will it ever be within human power to analyze the condition of the retina when disturbed by thought or reflex action? Yes, it has already been done. So, by the help of some optical or other means of such sensitiveness that a clear idea of its state might be gained at any time, yes, we have surpassed these things and delved much deep into the relation of how you actually connect. Because that's all we're talking about. How do I connect to this avatar? First of all, you must understand that your brain is made up of that of carbon and copper, and those are the necessary elements for electricity to produce. So it says, will it ever? No, we don't want to go there. If this were possible, no, we don't want to go there. So we do want to go there. Let's back up because we keeping with the idea now. So I'm going to always go back to the last sentence that we read. Will it ever be within human power to analyze the condition of the retina when disturbed by the thought of reflex action by the help of some optical or other means of such sensitiveness that a clear idea of its state might be gained at any time? If this were possible, then the problem of reading one's thoughts with precision, like the characters of an open book, might be much easier to solve than many problems belonging to the domain of positive physical science, and the solution of which many, if not the majority, of scientific men implicitly believe. Mm. It states that Helmholtz has shown that, and that's a person, Helmholtz, Helmholtz, has shown that the fundi, Fundi, of the eye are themselves luminous. And he was able to see in total darkness the movement of his arm by the light of his own eyes. This is one of the most remarkable experiments recorded in the history of science, and probably only a few men could satisfactorily repeat it, for it is a very likely that the luminosity of the eyes is associated with the uncommon activity of the brain and great imaginative power. It is fluorescence of brain action, as it were. Okay, so what we talking about? Basically, an individual like this is, first of all, developed with this type of senses and have been in contact and acknowledgement ever since it was in the physical form. All right. A lot of times when we are born, we subject our little so-called babies to things that damage, and especially if you get them fast, or I don't know if it's safe today to say vaccination or not, but for the sake of it not being video not being strike, I'm gonna use the word slaps. So granted, this individual is not induced with drugs or any outside and foreign objects or elements. We don't know what, and let this placenta be given to that individual. You, oh my goodness, it's only a government experiment. Only they know. I know, but I don't have enough time to sit here and tell you the powers that becomes of you when you take on such actions and forms and activities from the time you come into existence, rightfully, perfectly, on time with time, even induced while in the womb. Some people got it so mapped out they know who is coming through and what they are here to do. you might find that hard to conceive because you just having babies out of just mere you need to bust a nut and or you need something to do and somebody take care of and or accumulate some income. That's the only reason why people have babies. You show me one person that you know of that intentionally had a child and made the woman, not made, but came to agreement with her that this is what it's going to be when you're carrying this seed for 9 months, what you have to go through, so that this individual can have a great chance at becoming what it is intended to be. That's why over in the East, when they have children, they they don't come out and talk about, oh, everybody welcome Stephanie Bonds to the family. No, you gotta wait for like 5 years until that individual tell you who the heck they are. You can't tell the people who the individual is. You gotta wait till the individual tell you who they're gonna be. But again, like in the beginning of the stream, I stated, it's all about and bamboozle. Okay? You've been hoodwinked. They threw the hood over my head. They even got the same goddamn practice in the Masonic temples, y'all. I heard that say they hit the boy over the hammer him a bit. They hit him over the head and shit. Some crazy stuff. Yeah. Do you know what happened when you fall and bump your head? You're gonna lose all consciousness. All idea what's going on. At least. At best, you're going to be very dizzy and you're going to see some stars. Check. So imagine somebody hit you in the head or fall off a wall and crack open like they depict Humpty Dumpty. Remember, he was an egg. So he cracked open. That's what happened to my head when I fell. Yeah. Then the bull sing the song. He said a child was born with no state of mind. I disagree with that part, but I understand what he was making reference to. Because a child is born with a state of mind, people. You know what you want to do. That's why you came here. I telling you all this. I'm gonna bring a whole new different paradigm enlightenment as to why we here. Ain't nobody talking like this either. No. But that's why it used to be you weren't held accountable for your actions at least until you were 7 years old. You back in the day, you could damn near get away with murder. I don't know if you can still do it today because they done got hip. They know niggas is leaving early and coming right back and offing niggas. Yeah, it's gotten that deep. See, they thought that. Oh man, this is deep out here, yo. The universe is deep. It's some people so aware of what's going on, you'll think that you was the only one for a long time that didn't see this shit. Check. I know I'm jumping around, but it's intended to be good like this. We ain't gonna just sit here and focus and concentrate on one thing and talk about amen all day and go home and still perpetuate stupidity and foolishness. That's why I jump around. I take us from one idea to another. While still all can get back right back on track where it is most comfortable and suitable to be at the present moment. Remember, we practicing mastering the present moment in time. How does it feel right now? Ask yourself. Let me see if I got any viewers at all. Then I know what to I'm gonna see something. Is that still Professor X? Grand Rising, whoever it is. I'm still not familiar with how this stuff works. All I know is I'm live and it says when I can end my stream. So forgive me. I'm gonna give every people, person, place, and thing who who views this information, your props. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm bowing to you. I'm not requesting no cash app. I don't. You don't need to like this. This is not to be liked. I don't want that algorithm because this is not for everybody. This is everybody don't like this. And then you have to think. If you like something, then you're going to dislike something. Huh? You ever find yourself hitting the dislike button? So how do you feel right now? That was my question. Because this is the present moment. This is what's real. This is what's really going to be acknowledged and held accountable and weighed in. If right now your heart was to be put on the on the scale, weighed with that feather. What are you talking about, Nate? You know goddamn well if you put my heart on the scale, it's not going to weigh lighter than the feather. And you're right. But if I told you that is a metaphor, and I told you that your heart is actually will be symbolic to that of what you have weighed in on, okay? Listen, while your time throughout it was functioning and beating in your body. That's what it's about. This is how you escape and bypass the test of your heart weighing heavy, weighing in lighter than the feather. By not letting nothing in this world get to you. Okay? We can read your face. We can read in the whites of your eyes, people, that there's something wrong with you. Watch the movie Lucy. We showed you in the movie Lucy. I can touch you and I can know something is alien. So when you see somebody get shot down in the streets, was it you? No, it wasn't. Keep it moving, people. Stay in the joy and the utopia of what you are creating in your state of existence. This is America. They told you a long time ago it was a melting pot. What do you think you're going to see in a melting pot, people? Only that of the repetitious foolishness that's due for caramelization, if you will, if that's a word, of nothing but for individuals of time and times of incarnations. Want me to explain it another way? Just because I can't explain to you why things happen doesn't mean that there's not an explanation. Y'all got to realize that. There is no aspect about your world, your universe, your life, your family, and the way things are going, whether it's the red light on the corner or the stop sign or the two yellow lines in the road, there by a mere coincidence or a goddamn accident or a mere chance. Everything has significance, purpose, and reason. It's my job to figure it out. Remember what Dick Gregory said. Truth don't need to be validated, people. So if I'm ignorant to the fact, that means it's not real, it's not true? No. I'm going to have to be the one continuing on in my ignorance. And here's the good thing about it. They say ignorance is bliss. So I guess I'll be just a happy person, having many reincarnations on the same level. It's just like school. You're going to pretty much be flunking. You see, because as below, so above. If you got to graduate in school on earth, then you got to graduate in the macro realm too, or in the spiritual realm. Why you think Jesus went and prepared many places and mansions for you? That's my mother's favorite scripture. She knows she going to a greater place than here. She quoted that shit to me from when I was born. In my father's house of many mansions. If I don't go, I can't quite remember verbatim, but she used to say that. If I don't go, then something won't happen for you. And this, that thing, and the other. Yeah. What are we talking about? You got to be able to vibrate on a certain frequency, vibratory rate, and that'll allow you to enter those pearly gates, my buddy. Ain't that how they say, buddy? You my buddy. Yeah. Else, guess what? I'll see you back when you come through another woman here on earth. And hopefully there ain't somebody in the Badlands, in the ghetto. Hopefully you could be born to a woman that got a good job out there in the suburbs. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, some of you niggas gonna come back to a dopehead woman. And she got raped. Because she needed to get a fix. And he busted a nut up in her. And you in the hospital now. It's all drugged up and duped, crying. And they gonna put you in that certain section. Yeah, I'm gonna be able to peep you. Because I'm gonna be in the crib next to you. Because I might come back here too. You best better believe though, when you come here, you better have an agenda. So as the song goes, a child was born, he says, with no state of mind. I think you do have a state of mind. Blind to the ways of mankind. You see? See, when you was little, you was coming up, you thought everything was honky-dory, life was going to be beautiful. Because mama ain't tell you pretty much most of y'all that it's an ugly world out here. Watch out for Satan. Watch out for this, that thing, and the other. Watch out for the drug dealers. Watch out for the pimps. Watch out for the hoes. Mom, they didn't tell you all that. You had to peep a little bit of that when you watch Sesame Street, something like that. Or Little Red Riding Hood. You know what I'm talking about? Sesame Street. The closest thing you got to a drug dealer was dude that dressed in black with the hat on like this, hiding behind the wall, wanting to sell you something. What was he selling? Letters? I mean, like what? Would you like to buy the letter G? Today you can go in the corner and buy a bag of weed. It's the same thing. It's getting you prepared and ready from a young, ever since. Ever since I came to this earth, I was able to peep game. It didn't smell right. I can remember far back, man. I don't talk to too many people talking about they can remember past lives. Or at best, when you was in the crib. But remember when you was in the playpen? Are you going to tell me that you didn't have a goal, a vision, or a so-called dream? What were you doing? What were we doing? I asked the great thinkers and teachers who tell us that the child was born with no state of mind. You want to program me. That's what it is. You want to make sure I'm fit for society. And here's what some of our so-called people that's 302. They not crazy. Oh no, 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 no. They're more intelligent than the people that I see out here delivering mail, driving fire trucks, operating on people. Yeah, I've met and talked. We've been hoodwinked, man. Them people, they've made a decision that they decide they did not want to be Americanized. Much like a Puerto Rican coming from Puerto Rico or Mexico, and they chose that they don't want to speak English because they understand so well of what the English language is and does to the ether realm. I'm, and I can't even apologize for the dropping of information that I do because I'm so much right on time, and some things need to be said, else we won't be able to move forward with right knowledge, right reasoning, and right understanding. We're gonna jump books for a minute. I want to read to us of the idea of energy. Dissect it, digest it, and then manifest it to the best way which is suitable, comfortable, and profitable for you. Never mind me. Never mind, is it sound knowledge? My job is I want to see and hear what's going to make me the more greater than the Nate that I am right now. Because there's always room for improvement. Check. So it states here we are all energy, connecting with energy. What are some of the ways we know this, people? We are all energy. You ever walk with socks on across a floor with rugs on it and touched a brass doorknob and felt electricity? That would not be possible if you were not electric in its essence. Listen to me and listen to me well. Listen to the words that I'm explaining. This is what brings the clarity. It's not what the two eyes that you see with people. It's words that brings about the clarity of the said uh, idea or projection. So the more cumulative of words we can have, the broader and the better the projection of our picture will be. You see? So I'm using words precisely. I'm not just sitting here acting like I'm part of an agenda. I'm getting paid and or I want to be fronting for you. Right? That's the only reason why people we do videos. Very seldom do you find somebody to do a video the way and the reason for why I'm doing it. Very. Ralph Smart, but Ralph Smart get money though. Ralph Smart sells shirts and coffee cups and stuff. I'm talking about very seldom if you find somebody like me on YouTube. I don't sell you a hoodie. You don't need to buy a hat. I don't have no cups for you. You don't know my cash app, and I don't want you to know my cash app. You might try to take the money out of it. Somebody gonna take the money out of it. You know that. Check. Ask Rich and them. Ask them people who do that. They can't even cash app no more than some of these people like Phil Valentine. They cash app them so much. No, I can't get caught up into that process, people. I don't need. It's bad enough. I gotta go back over these videos and make sure they didn't strike them for something I said. You think we want me chasing around money and? No, man, I ain't got time for this, man. I'm in the world. I'm not of this shit. And besides, it'll take away from too much of the other alternative functionings and events that I have going on in this universe. Be worrying about whether I could get paid on YouTube. How much you paying anyway? I think the highest paid YouTuber is a kid who do cartoons. It ain't even a person who speaks some information that's, empowering. I think, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm ready to shut it down. The more I think about it, this situation, where you shut this down, man. Call me up if you want to hear anything or I'll send you this material. That's all. We do it the old fashioned way. UPS, FedEx. That's how I used to do it. You want to know something? I'll put the book in a vanilla envelope or a box and ship it to you. And we can mail each other or talk on the phone about different ideas. But I just find this way via my affairs, I can at least on Facebook get like 5,000 individuals. And y'all know how that go. 5,000 people. If y'all all share one, then that's 10,000, and we can keep it moving from there. And that note there, but only you share this and give this in whom they are worthy of it, people. Don't be a fool, because a lot of people gonna laugh at you and take this information and trample on it. This is why Jesus said, "Do not cast your pearls amongst the swine." You see, not that we can give a two rats ass today. You know me. It don't matter. You might just do yourself more harm. It's like breaking the glass, right? Until you if you break a mirror, right? You break a mirror, we think you get 7 years bad luck. Well, that might not be true, but there is some relevancy to it. Okay. So you know your energy. If not, you can get on your smartphone and you can ask. Well, let's do it since we are doing a YouTube stream, and on our YouTube stream, I like to be actual and factual. Check. Watch this. This is gonna be deep right here. Man, if I'm gonna put it, we're gonna Bluetooth it, hook up. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected. How much energy does a human being have?
According to Stanford University, the average human, at rest, produces around 100 watts of power. Over periods of a few minutes, humans can comfortably sustain 300 to 400 watts, and in the case of very short bursts of energy, such as sprinting, some humans can output over 2,000 watts.
Damn, that's almost frightening. Damn. You can't get that type of information to somebody like me. She said if you start running, sprinting mean running. Meaning generating more electricity. You can output over. Well, they should never have gave me a book, shouldn't they? They should never gave me a book. They should never lock me up. That was the grave mistake. That's why sometimes I'm leaning more to believe that they were helping me as opposed to hindering me, this society. Because I did have I used to be so vindictive and frustrated about how and why I was so locked away like I was. But then it came to me. You know what I'm gonna share what my sentence was. 3.5 to 13. That really woke me up. I ain't dig it at first. Again, I'm thinking this person up here They got some vendetta against me because I'm a light-skinned brown kid. Because back then, yeah, I wouldn't dare call myself black. Yeah, I was one of them light-skinned boys in Mount Airy of Philadelphia. Okay, like we was raised that you the shit, and don't and the world like I know today evolves around me, and that's fact. But it also evolves around you too. Okay, but the point is, if you are electric and the average human at rest, that means when that body is laying down, it's still the police can use an instrument outside to see if you still laying in that bed. Why? It's still producing around 100 watts, depending on how much poison and acidity you are. Some of you is only vibrating real low. Some of you ready like a fucking twink. Excuse me, a twinkling star just disappeared, dissipate. Yeah, they eating the wrong foods. They throwing the slaps all up in them. They're going back and get boosters of it, and oh man, they're going to Rite Aid and taking the flu shots. Oh, it's just sad. It's sad. I it's I don't know where they at in the universe. They done this, and that's an agenda, man. I'm gonna have to share that. That's a goddamn agenda where you don't want when I know that the DNA in the blood is crystal liquid light and is being activated in this day and time. I know goddamn well there's some people that do not have that idea in its best interest, and they're seeking means to cause it to be at bay. Okay, let's put this modestly. That way I can keep my YouTube video up and perhaps keep from dodging bullets. You know what I'm talking about? Although we know what's the creed, but we just still metaphysically speaking. I'm not here to wreck nobody's shit. I'm not here to buck the boat, step on nobody's toes. I don't care how much Rite Aid pharmacies this pharmaceutical people is making. And I'm a straight herbalist, born and bred and raised. I know Dr. Sebi. I know from, I ain't even going to name nothing. But listen, if you, over periods of few minutes, humans can comfortably sustain 300 to 400 watts. Do you know that's enough electricity to generate and power your house? All we got to do now is learn how to harness it and direct it. But we're going to get into that. Just stay tuned. You ever heard that before? Stay tuned. Think about it. What do we mean, stay tuned? If I told you, take you, see, a lot of people thought that it mean kept checking in, keep coming back. And it might. But what if I told you take your car and get it tuned? Would you still bring it back to me and check it in? If you have 7 chakras, the same strings that of a guitar in the harmonic flow of the universe, why can't I be tuned? These are valid questions, man. And in the case of very short bursts of energy, such as sprinting, anger, uh, um, sex, when fear kick in, some humans can output over 2,000 watts. This is why they're able to do miraculous things. Pick up a car, leap over a wall that's twice as high as them. I've done it. You ever run from a pit bull and fear your life? There's no telling what you'll do. First thing you're gonna think about is your superhero that you would like when you grew up, when you was a little kid or girl or boy. And that characteristic at that moment, that phenomenal superpower will make manifest. Let's read on. I think we get the point. I think we can all agree we're energy. I mean, what more do we need? You want me to tell you that if you was on a hospital bed and you was dying, they was gonna take two electrical instruments and put it to your chest? Huh? You want me to point that out too? And guess what? They're gonna tell everybody around you to stand clear. Did you know it's electricity coming through there? Or did you think it was water? They told you water was the most powerful element and the most powerful force. Why don't they dip me in water if I'm about to die? They bring two goddamn electric instruments and tell you to stand back and wait for a sigil. That's what it is. The WWW, the World Wide Web, to appear. And that means you're live. We can't make this up, people. Without you, there'll be no universe. Without the universe, there'll be no you. It's just that plain and that simple. It's all the people in the world with their different theories that causes the big misconfusion. When in all actuality, life is very simple. There's very few rules. Did you know the only true alphabet, letters of the alphabet is just A, B, and C? They said the rest of them was not needed. Those are all just extra letters to keep the people in the state of the spells that can be possessed or placed, brung about. Look at something I posted on my Facebook. It was a paragraph of information, but the letters was all different. Let me read it. I'm gonna show you what I mean. I want to read this. I thought it was profound. Article or post that I had came across. Give me a minute and pull it up real quick. It's not going to take long, hopefully. All right, so go to my Facebook page. All right, here we are. Oh, here we are. Okay. All right. Not everyone can read this. Go to my Facebook page, Nathaniel Hills. You'll see it. It's only 3 articles away, 3 posts away from the top. I'm gonna pin that. It says not everyone can read this. If and basically the words, it looked like a different language. The letters, not words, are thrown in different figuration. However, still the brain is able to perceive and conceive exactly what is going on. And it tells us that if you can read this, you have a strange mind too. I couldn't believe that I could actually understand what I was reading. The phenomenal power of the human mind, according to a research at Cambridge University, it doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last letter be in the right place. And I had to think for a minute. Is it, don't we deal in the concept of spirituality, Alpha and Omega, the first and the last? You see? So, same like with reading in this letter that we read in here. You are the first, and there you are the ending. There is no beginning. And this is actually what Alpha and Omega is. No beginning and no ending. The rest can be, the rest of the letters that's making mention of can be a total mess, and you can still read it without a problem. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. And remember, in the Bible, in the beginning, it said what was, it states what was in the beginning. It was the word. So it says that this is amazing, huh? Yeah. And I always thought spelling was important. And it is. Well, actually, it isn't. Well, actually, it is and it isn't. Right? I'll leave you to contemplate why I say. Don't think that I'm wrong that it is and it isn't. Just come up with a feasible idea. And it may change in time as to why I say it is and it isn't. Because it is. It's important. Right? Right. So we are all energy connecting with energy, integrating energy, emitting energy, absorbing energy, transforming energy, and everything around us is energy. We need to be clear on this, people. If th- so, this is one of the most remarkable experiments recorded in history of science, and probably only a few men could satisfactorily repeat it, which was Mr. Helmholtz doing an eye luminous uh, event for the people where he was able to see in total darkness the movement of his arms by the light of his own eyes. All right. So another fact having a bearing on this subject, which has probably been noted by many since it is stated in popular expressions, but which I cannot reflect to have found chronicled as a positive result of observation, is that at times when a sudden idea or image presents itself to the intellect, there is a distinct and sometimes painful sensation of luminosity produced in the eye, observable even in the broad daylight. So, saying then that the soul shows itself in the eye is deeply founded, and we feel that it expresses a great truth. It has a profound meaning, even for one who, like a poet or artist, only following his inborn instinct or love for nature, finds delight in aimless thoughts and in the mere contemplation of natural phenomena. But a still more profound meaning, okay, for one who, in the spirit of positive scientific investigation, seeks to ascertain the causes of the effect. It is the principality. Is principally the natural philosopher, the physicist, for whom the eye is the subject of the most intense admiration. Check.
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth pairing.
Two facts about the eye must forcibly impress the mind of the physicist. Notwithstanding, he or she may think or say that it is an imperfect optical instrument, forgetting that the very conception of that which is perfect or seems to him has been gained through this same instrument. First, the eye is as far as our positive knowledge goes, the only organ which is directly affected by the subtle medium, which is, as science teaches us, must fill all space. You with me? Y'all tracking with me? All right. It is the most sensitive of our organs, incomparably more sensitive to external impressions than any other. It shouldn't be hard to accept. Mind you, we're not talking about the third eye or the second eye. We're talking about energy here. Energy is the mind. The mind is the eye. We need to be clear on this. How are we faring on the YouTube? Oh, excellent. Professor X, is that you still here? Oh, grand rising you. I feel like I should just stop, man. I don't want to keep. It must be vital. Tune Cosmos, Professor X states. I appreciate all the bomb drops in the 100 and the fireball signs, Professor X. I'd like to see it. That's what's up. I see the crown. I see the musical scale note. That's right, because that's what we doing. Putting off here. So, in light of recognition on the YouTube channel, I want to give much respect and acknowledgement to Professor X. All right. Yeah, so let's jump into some other information right quick. Like these proverbs that I have listed here. Well, they're not actually proverbs, they're just actually ideas. That I like to read and then contemplate on them and see of what significance does it make to me. Because everything that exists in life doesn't apply to me. It isn't for me. That's one thing that I had to learn. I thought everything was for everybody. and it's not. Did you know iguana can't eat spinach? But yeah, it's a vegetarian. Is a vegetarian. Yeah, look it up. It'll kill him. So I had to learn, and I'm speaking merely on a spiritual aspect. People, you can take it on all three levels. But I had to learn what's poison on this plane of existence was right for me. You know, some of the things that I pretty much came to the conclusion was that if I am going to create the unlimited, then I'm going to have to feel unlimited. Remember, everything that we feel has to at some time come about, or else we're going to have to get a curvature on the way we feel. You see? So I'm just basically here looking for a little bit more information about electricity, where it is also applicable to that of the true essence of who and what you are. All right. That's why this book is profound to me. You know, I read it and I go through it. I don't just read, I study this book. And I said to myself, like, wow, a lot of these ideas, and I don't know if Nikola actually knew it or not. Was he took maybe because he was amongst certain people, he couldn't say certain things. Because when you reveal certain information, certain things, a lot of people get upset and they seek to cause your demise, you know, or one's demise, not you. I don't want to signal you out there, all right? And I apologize, but we all know very well. We didn't see what happened to brother and sisters who so-called uh, leak information that is wasn't to be for public knowing. I'm hearing the brother Coolio was very informed about things. Yeah, so I have to look into that. Dane Calloway said he was very close and associative of Coolio, and I seen the video earlier of Dane Calloway, and he was really touched by the event that took place with Mr. Coolio. Then you have other people who say they don't know. It was pretty much probably of that order. From what I understand, some of our numerologists out there say that Coolio is what? 30, 33 in numerology? I mean, I don't get into all that. I know about that stuff. I grew up with people who talked about that, but that's not my field. I don't deny it, not at all. I'm very. I understand how this whole total operation is nothing but mathematics and science. Life is mathematics and science, and science and mathematics is life. You can't have one without the other. If I took off this hat, there's got to be a number in there to tell you what size it is. If you ask me what size is my ring, I'm going to have to give you some numbers. If you went to the shoe store and you asked for a pair of shoes, I guarantee you he's going to have to ask you for some numbers. When you drive your car down the street, did you know you have to obey numbers? Yes, 25 miles per hour. So you can't get away from mathematics and science. Although we like to think that we're just living in an accidental, coincidental, happy go free, lucky life. No. That's why they had to come up with the saying, ignorance is bliss. Because for the people that's unaware and don't know, what are they worrying about? Tomorrow's Saturday. They waiting to go swimming, take the kids to the soccer league. They don't know the science of mathematics of what time and what's going to happen and why they should be traveling and which way they should be going at a certain period of time so they can avoid certain periods and things that's going on. Society don't teach us that. Especially if you've been to church, if I've been to church. That's all religion going to do. Is keep me out of the reality of the real states of existence. It's to keep the people in a state of illusion. Depending on hoping on something that they can't see. Ain't that what they say? Evidence of things not seen, hopes and fear. What is it? I can't even remember. It's so crazy how that go. Hope for things and evidence of things that's not seen. I ain't got time for that. So I'm just pretty much freelancing here. But at the same time, okay, here it go. Let's go in here. I was great getting into something else, but I found it. It just takes a couple minutes of shutting our mouth, right? This is very profound information. Sometimes I don't even know where to start with this crazy. All right, the problem of increasing human energy with special reference to the harnessing of the sun's energy. Let's look at this idea here. And while we do that, I want to take this back. Now, tell yourself and keep in remembrance this. Yes, yes. The world does evolve around me. I want you to say that. I know our mother and our father told us that it didn't. But let us just, for the sake of respect of them, think that they've been misinformed and that they really didn't know what they was talking about. It's all right. It's safe to say that. Our mother and father wasn't right about everything. Y'all know that. And anybody who think they was, you only fooling yourself. You want to tell yourself, if you're going to heal in a magnificent way, you have to feel and think that you are magnificent. Don't watch anything on television or on the internet or participate in any mode of entertainment that you don't want to experience. Okay? So what that means is don't even hang around people, places or things if it's not conducive to what you are about or your well-being. It states that of all the endless variety of phenomena which nature presents to our senses, there is none that fills our minds with greater wonder than that inconceivably complex movement, which in its entirety we designate as human life. Its mysteries, origin is veiled in the forever impenetrable mist of the past. And that's true. Its character is rendered incomprehensible by its infinite intricacy. This is why I tell people all the time, if you're looking for the truth, you're going to have to go within inside. They burned Alexandria library down, so you have been told at least 2 times. They used to burn books, burn people at the stakes with the books. I ain't gonna say they used to. There's been time where there was events. Let's be more precise and accurate, right? Because you might want to ask they who, and I don't want to tell you they. But you better rest assured that there was times when information. You better watch the movie V for Vendetta. Whence does it come? What is it? Whither does it tend? Are the great questions which the sages of all times have endeavored to answer. Modern science says the sun is the past, the earth is the present, the moon is the future. From an incandescent mass we have originated, and into a frozen mass we shall return. Merciless is the law of nature, and rapidly and irresistibly we are drawn to our doom. Lord Kelvin, in his profound meditations, allowed us only a short span of life, something like 6 million years, after which time the sun's bright light will have ceased to shine, and its life giving heat will have embedded away, and our own earth will be a lump of ice, hurrying on through the eternal night. But do not let us disappear. There will still be left upon it a glimmering spark of light, and there will be a chance to kindle a new fire on some distant star. This wonderful possibly seems indeed to exist, judging from Professor Darwin's beautiful experiments with liquid air, which shows that germs of organic life are not destroyed by cold, no matter how intense. Consequently, they may be transmitted through the interstellar space. Meanwhile, the cheering lights of science and art, ever increasing in intensity, illuminated our path, and marvelously they disclose, and the enjoyments they offer make us miserably forgetful of the gloomy future. Though we may never be able to comprehend human life, which this definitely is not an accurate statement here. Our whole goal is to not only understand what and come to the idea of what human life is about, transcend up out of humanism. All right. We know certainly that it is a movement. You see, it goes on to say, so if you know that certainly is a movement, then you must be prepared and expect progress, transformation. Check. We know certainly that it is a movement of whatever nature it be. The existence of movement unavoidably implies a body which is being moved, and the mind and the spirit, okay, and the soul, and a force which is moving it, which is you. Hence, whenever there is life, there's a mass moved by a force. All mass possesses Intria is spelled Inertia. Interior. Let's look up what that means. Inertia, right? A tendency to do nothing or to remain unchanged. So all masses possesses a tendency to do nothing or to remain unchanged. All force tends to persist. Owing to this universal property and condition, a body, be it at rest or in motion, tends to remain in the same state. And a force manifesting itself anywhere and through whatever cause produces an equivalent opposite force. Okay, I can see that to a degree. That's like some of these people. That's why they keep having this incarnations here, say like rated, let alone right here in America. They can't even get to at least to a country like Dubai somewhere where at least there's no chewing gum on the ground or no poverty. They gotta because they're stagnated. They couldn't get from the last paradigm to vibrate on no higher frequency than the state that they left off. It's much like a drug addict. They'll tell you. They say when you pick back up and do the drug, it's like they never stop. You pick right back up off the same paradigm in what you left in, the same state of existence. You see? When we speak of man, we have a conception of humanity as a whole. That means we entail woman and child, and the roaches, the rats, the cat down the street, as said by Ross Smart. Feels so good to be alive. As a whole, and before applying scientific methods to the investigation of his movement, we must accept this as a physical fact. But can anyone doubt today that all the millions of individuals and all the innumerable types of characters constitute an entity, a unit? Though free to think and act, we are held together like the stars in the firmament with ties inseparable. These ties cannot be seen, but we can feel them. I cut myself in the finger and it pains me. This finger is part of me. I see a friend hurt and it hurts me. Two, my friend and I are one. And now I see stricken down an enemy, a lump of matter, which of all the lumps of matter in the universe, I care least for, and it still grieves me. Does this not prove that each of us is only part of a whole? For ages, this idea has been proclaimed in the consummately wise teachings of religion, probably not alone as means of ensuring peace and harmony among men, but as deeply founded truth. The Buddhist expresses it in one way, the Christians in another, but both say the same. We are one. Metaphysical proofs are, however, not the only ones which we are able to bring forth in support of this idea. Science too recognizes this connectedness of separate individuals, though not quite in the same sense as it admits that the suns, planets, and moons of a constellations are one body, and there can be no doubt that it will be experimentally confirmed in times to come when our means and methods for investigation, physical and other states and phenomena shall been brought to a greater perfection. And this is what we are doing today. We are moving on, bringing about a greater insight and an overstanding, as well as an understanding of our home, this existence in which you dwell. For I know that if you would destroy the universe, one of them stars, them so-called planets, will implode and life will start anew. That's how deep you are. That's how profoundly, intricately you are manifested into fruition, and you can't be destroyed. You are God at your most highest state and at your most debased. You still God. The individual is ephemeral, what is this? Ephemeral races and nations come and passes away, but man remains. Therein lies the profound difference between the individual and the whole. Therein, too, is to be found the partial explanation of many of those marvelous phenomena of heredity, which are the result of countless centuries of feeble but persistent influence. Conceive then man as a mass urged on by a force. Though this movement is not a translatory character, implies changes. No, 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 no. All right, so we're gonna jump on past that. He ain't talking about nothing there. Man, however, is not an ordinary mass, right? That's what we want to get into. Okay, consisting of spinning atoms and molecules. And let me bring to our attention, we have the atom, the ADAM of the so-called Holy Bible or the Good Book. We also have the Atum Ra, the Atum Ra of the ancient Egyptian. ATUM is spelled. All right. So now we look at the ATOM. And I'm bringing this to light because I seen it on a Facebook page, but it was quoted different. They had the ATUM first, and then the ATOM, and then the ADAM. And they're on time. And it's just my theory, my opinion, but I am the ATOM. You see? Made up of the 666. Remember the 666? The mark of the beast? Well, it's not the mark of the beast. It's the formula in which they made that is sacred, that they made you scared of. We talking about 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. You see? This is the first atom. This is what energy is made up of. You could have ATUM could not have came about until he was an ATOM. So how you gonna put that vice versa? Everything starts from a thought. All matter. The physical plane came from a thought first. What did it say? In the beginning was the word. You can't speak a word until you start to thinking. Huh? So man is, however, is not an ordinary mass consisted of spinning atoms and molecules and containing merely heat energy. He, she is a mass possessed of certain higher qualities by reason of the creative principle of life with which he is endowed. So in other words, whatever you think you are, that's what it's going to be. His mass, you might want to be Superman. So bad. So bad. You can feel it in your blood. You buy costumes for your kids. You buy bumper stickers and put it on your car. You got Spider-Man cups. You got a Spider-Man chair. But you just know that you'll never be Spider-Man here on Earth. You know damn well we'll never see you swinging and leaping from building to building at a single bound. But when you lay that avatar down at night, who's to say that you're not taking, you call it dreaming. So somewhere you have created this individual who is that of like Superman. It just won't be here on Earth. It can't, it's not at that type of vibratory, what is it, vibratory rate. Take for instance the movie Men in Black. When Will Smith, when they took Will Smith into the other dimensions, what did he say? Wow, you mean the world don't know all this exists? No, they just think it's all pretty Earth. That's all they think about. Working hard, getting a good job, graduating, retiring, save some money, take a vacation, and that's going to be it. That's the human life. That's the way we supposed to live here on Earth. Get a rocking chair and sit back to wait to die. Hopefully grandchildren come over and clip the toenails for you. Probably clean up a little bit. Wash your hair. Change your dirty drawers. That's what you want? That's the American life. Because we've been eating 3 meals a day for 70 years. And you got a bottle of medication on your dresser to match each year. That's costing you $800. People, I'm not making this up. This is some shit I'm watching that's going on. I'm not going out like that. You got to be crazy. If this is what life is about, we can hang this up now. We can stop now. Or we all agree that we got to change this shit. Don't worry about if family members and everybody else want to change and come into the idea of themselves. That's not important. It's what you want to do with your life. The worst thing we can do is run out here and tell somebody else that this is the way they should be living. One of the worst things, anyway. Because you didn't come here with them. You ain't even the same sign. He a Scorpio and she a Taurus. Dumb. We just do dumb stuff, people. And it's okay. We got to laugh at it. You got people coming to Earth talking about I'm here to save the people. They own mother and father can't even save them. What makes you think you're going to save them? Their mother and father took a wet stenching cord in a tree branch to whip their ass to get them to straighten up and do right and see right. And you think, oh, because you got you know how to speak Arabic and Hebrew, I'm going to be fond of that shit. And you want me worship Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? You don't go stand your ass in the corner and get away from me with that shit. Ain't none of you know the remedy that's going to take for me to be happy in this life. I know it. I could tell when you running around here asking a nigga is he saved or not. You ever see them people? Ask you, are you saved? First of all, what do you want to save me? Am I saved from what? They never asked you, are you saved? I mean, they never tell you or ask you or express what we supposed to be saved from. They just want to run straight into, oh, well, you're supposed to be believing in Jesus. And you got to figure the rest out later of what we supposed to be. A lot of y'all is saved and still don't know what you saved from. You can't accurately and sit down dialogue with me on a long scale as to what it is we supposed to be saving ourselves from. No, they're not really that inclined like that. No, they might throw out a few answers. Well, the hellfire, you might hear that response. Saved from getting caught up in doing drugs but hey, so moving on. It states here that, all right, first of all, let's go back over our last sentence so we can get a refresh idea where we at. In a crystal, we have the clear evidence of the existence of a formative life principle. Oh, wait a minute. I done turned the page, didn't I? Yeah, we done way off base with this. All right, so it doesn't matter anyway. It's time to wind down. Let me just do a quick check at something real quick. I'm gonna look in the index, see what sticks out at me that should be brought to light, if anything at all. If not, we're gonna pretty much start wrapping it down. All right. So all this here, I see. I just don't want to just jump around. We have to start from some base of, because this is talking about vibrations. So always, I mean, or not always, but just keep in mind that we're dealing with energy, frequency, and vibration. That's the whole electromagnetic scale of what we're operating in. And if you just can remember that, it's just like first base, second base, ABC, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, sun, moon, and star, man, woman, and child, negative, positive, neutrons, electrons, and protons, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And you get the picture. It's always that three. You know what I mean? You see a Masonic person, they always hitting you with that, or 33, it, because Nikola spoke of that. He said, if you understand the operation of the numeral, I'm putting it in my own formula and format. But I think verbatim what he said was just to understand the numbers of 3, 6, and 9. Okay, you would understand the science and your relationship to the universe. All right. In fact, it was said that, and it's in this book, he never even did nothing in the same sequence. Right. All right. So I found where I was, which is a beautiful thing, but I don't feel like getting into it now. All right. So again, let me bring back to remember is that the soul shows itself in the eye, is deeply founded, and we feel that it expresses a great truth. So this is why you have to know what a person don't say, what a person don't express. You can actually. That's why they tell you, look me in the eye and tell me that you didn't cheat on me. You know that? Why is that? Because the eyes don't lie. Did you know the detective? They sit there and watch which way the eyes go, and they know if an individual is lying or not, and which part of the brain that they operating out of. We're taught this. I mean, they're taught that. Everything in existence has explanation to it. Whether you know it or not, I don't care. And forgive me for bringing it to light. I don't like to etch things into existence, but because it has already happened, I can make mention of it. And let's have the sincere feeling that we can someday see the cease of this type of activity where a little child standing by somewhere gets shot, people. Oh, yes, it's a terrible thing to witness and it's a terrible thing to hear and know about. But let's put on our super caps now. Let's not be dumb. Don't let the incident, again, don't let your heart weigh in heavier than the feather. And that means that you let an incident that took place take you as though you ready to burn up your neighborhood and loot and just kill other races. No. You're an individual with lack of understanding and you're acting like a human. We call them monkeys. Get a hold of yourself. Acknowledge what's going on. Realize that that child had something. We can't. There's so many elements and magnitudes of which and degrees in which we can bring to the element. It'll probably take us a year to figure out why it happened. But know that it happens, and everything happens in accord with a divine creed. Check. Nothing happens by accident, mishap, or coincidence. Everything that happens to me in my life, some way, shape, or form, I warrant it. Everything. Everything, Nate? Yes, I said everything. Can you give me an example? Sure. I was driving down the street. I stopped at the stop sign. But when I took my foot off the pedal and hit the gas, a car came and smacked and dented my whole front up. And I said, Lord, why did I deserve that? What happened? I tell you what happened. That same dude that didn't give you no money so you can get your hair done and you cursed him. You said that you wanted him to drive down the street and you hope somebody run into his car. He didn't deserve that. He didn't give you the money because he didn't have it to give. But because she was so ignorant, she threw a spell and a curse out there. But just like only a boomerang, it came back on her. Come on now. I'll break it all down to you. Ain't nothing going on out here that can't be explained. You ain't gonna tell me that. I'm not that dumb. Oh, your girlfriend got cancer. Yeah? You think that's a mistake? You want to run around talking about, oh, why me? Why I got to be with a woman who has cancer? And I'm just paraphrasing people. I'm not speaking and pointing nothing on no one individual out. I'm only speaking about what our paradigm exists of. I'm explaining to you the sphere, the only thing that's spinning, not the earth, not the plane that you're standing on. That's not spinning. But the circumference of what you're rotating and dealing with is. That's the whole concept of the boomerang. What you put out, it will come back. Don't you give out donations? You see somebody on the corner and they bumming and begging, and you give $1. Why? In hopes that you'll get a favor in return. Be honest. See, we all know the law of karma is in effect, but we don't want to really deal with it when it comes to our personal matters in existence. You know that if you give, look at a church. What the church tell you? Give to the Lord. And y'all know how much I disagree with that. But we got billions of people who give to the Lord. But the good book say you'll get tenfold back. Well, see, what happened was you only looked at it from one point of view. You never thought that if you put out ugliness, you would get that back. Oh yeah, that's the way it goes. Ain't nobody messing with you. Don't nobody hate you because you black or because you white. That's the character. That's the energy that you're emanating. So, like I said, I found where we were, but we won't wrap this up. I don't want to speak too much more because I'm getting at a time where I'm going to go wrap it down or lay it down, rejuvenate my physical. That's what we do, people. Let's close up the material. We're going to let the class out, but that's what we do. Rejuvenate the physical. I remember studying the Quran, both in Arabic. What is the Quran written in Arabic or Hebrew? I kind of forget. I studied them both. I think it's Arabic. Both Arabic and it is Arabic. Arabic and English. And I had to. Because I wanted to know, first of all, was one saying something different than the other. But I remember reading in there. I forget what it was I wanted to point out that I read that quick. I'm getting tired. Anyways. Wow, what was it I wanted to say? I hate that part. I totally forgot what I wanted to say. I don't know. I might have to. Sometimes I might gotta make it like Professor X and put me a piece of metal over my head because I know that's what's going on, and it's done through these devices. Because it's impossible. How you going to just literally a thought just unless there's some type of other frequencies going on. It's got to be. I I mean, I ain't sitting here thinking about nothing else. I could see if I was sitting here thinking about going to dinner and eating and this, that, thing, and other. I remember where we were. It come back. See, it must have tuned down. Don't have an effect. But what I was saying, the body, the human body, and that's what it says in the Quran. Allah, God, neither sleeps or slumber. He don't eat. I've came down to the conclusion, or up, if you will. It's talking about you. Name an aspect of you that don't eat, don't sleep, and all that other good stuff that God don't do. What you say? Spirit and soul is the same thing. Right, energy. You ever see your mind eating? You ever see the energy eat? How many of you seen the movie Ghosts? When the man with the long trench coat on and the hat was chasing Patrick Swayze through the train station, and he kicked the cigarette machine. And what he say? Oh, I would do anything to have another smoke again. That told me right there, the spiritual realm has no effect on the tangible realm, the matter, the physical realm. It has no effect. I don't know how he kicked the machine and all the cigarettes came out, but it's the movies. It's going to be corny at certain times, but you got to catch the pitch. You can jump through the goddamn train and don't get hurt, but you can kick the cigarette machine and all the cigarettes fall out. So when you lay the physical down, you'll only rejuvenate in that meat suit. I call it a meat suit. It's a space suit to be more moderate. Something that you're utilizing to occupy in this particular space and time. I hope this makes a little sense to some people. Because I'm giving it on a baby scale level. I had to prolong my stay here on Earth just so I can bring this type of information. From what I understand, I'm supposed to have been had left. Well, not supposed to, but could have been left. But it's not time. So when you, me, she, he, and her ladies physical down tonight, you're not going to rest or sleep. No, 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 no. You don't rest. Remember, that book is right and exact. You just got to read it in the proper perspective. Both the Quran and the Bible, any other so-called religious book. All it's talking about is you. Remember, their science is your essence. You hear me? You see? Science essence. Africans don't have, in Africa, they don't have technology. You'll never find technology coming from Africans. That's an Asian and a European thing. The Dogons use constellations of the stars and the universe, and so should you. Time is on my side. Yes, it is time. How many people seen that movie with Denzel Washington and everybody walking around touching each other? Huh? Did you decode that yet? Hollywood is doing nothing but talking about you. The Bible, the Quran is doing nothing but talking about you. Hollywood can't make no movie without you. They need you to cause an effect. I can only make a movie as to what has happened in the past, what's happening now, or what's to happen. That's the only way we can make a movie. You're not going to go and bring me anything far stretch fetch, something that I can't wrap my mind around. That's preposterous and impossible. It'll never happen. Earth will shut down. The glitch. It'll be a glitch. Like you ever play a game or a CD or music and it keeps skipping? That's what will happen on Earth. Because we all a hologram. You'll start seeing me fading in and out. Different density. Oh yeah, be some bad people, man. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. And mine's is doing swell. So I've been told to give y'all people, those who are attentive and listening, the love. And I'm going to leave now, but I want to invoke that you have a great life and be sure that you're doing this on purpose. Have an existence with meaning and joy. We're not here because I gotta pass a test, and depending on whether I pass or not will determine how I will fare in the future. I think I'm doing enough hell already. It can't be no worse than what I've seen and experienced in existence. Only place it is for an individual who has been here on earth and experienced this so-called American dream. Only these individuals can experience what it is to be in a state of hell and travel and move into such states of felicity and utopia in which they desire. This is for the taking. It's for the making. When the people told you that God created you with a limited amount of free will, didn't you thought that was a mistake that God made? Tell the truth. Because other than that, God made a mistake. He playing with me. If he gave me a limited amount of free will, that means when I get to see you again, we can bargain. You started this, God. Oh yeah, y'all. Mine is a terrible thing to waste. Mine's just swell and sharp. I'm going. Whoever seen them, and I'm gonna close out on this. I'm gonna play me a tune that I put together. I think it's gonna be "BNN" by Bash and Nate and Bash. Me and him put this together. It's the beat of that Tupac got, but we playing a couple instruments. I'm playing the thumb piano, and Bash is playing the keyboard. So that's gonna be the next tune y'all gonna hear off of one of the beats that Tupac Shakur used. Okay, but yeah, I was shoot. Man, you got to realize and remember, it's all about being yourself, loving yourself, and taking yourself to greater heights. All right. So again, I forgot the question I just asked, and please forgive me. I'm tired. Got a lot of things on my mind, and at the same time, I'm not entertaining my guests that I have, and I do want to welcome you all along. Sorry, I can't welcome you in the building. You know, you know how a lot of people like to welcome us in the building. I don't have a building for you to come in, but I can get you signed into the web. All you need to do is send out your sigil, and if you can vibrate strong enough, we can definitely feel you. Okay, we will attract. That's a fact. Like minds attract. Am I right? I'm just reflecting as to the last question I was just asking. I know I was going somewhere with it. I'm always going to go somewhere with something. Yeah, so anyway, rest your avatar. You yourself that's occupying this. Oh, Animaniacs. How many of you seen the cartoon Animaniacs? What was what was it to be decoded about the Animaniacs? Just like the Smurfettes. Did you know the Smurfettes was promoting incest subconsciously? Oh, yes, it was. Anytime you got a girl in the hood and 12 brothers and an uncle and the girl got a baby, that's incest. The baby never had a father in the Smurfettes or the Smurfs. Huh? Look it up. Then you got Bert and Ernie in the bathtub, taking a bath together with a rubber ducky, sleeping in the same bed. Okay. Okay. I see how y'all playing. And on a lighter note, you don't rest, you don't eat. You're gonna lay this body down tonight, and you call it dreaming. And if you want, if you sleep with somebody, you can ask them if they can pay a little attention to you at night and see and let me know what my movements was, and if I said anything, and if I said anything, I want you to tell me what I said. See, I play little things like that with myself. Yeah, I tell my significant other, I want you to tell me what I was talking in my sleep. You know what? You ever heard that song before? I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. Remember that? Yeah, we all, because you're somewhere having an experience, people. You gotta imagine. And my screen has frozen, so let me pause for a second. I got a freeze on the screen. And that's probably because either I've been on here too long and or they want me to get off. 10:53. Oh, my screen is frozen, man. All right. So I guess it's time to end the video. I don't know if you can hear me not. People, if you can still hear me, I'm gonna slime y'all all out of here. You know what it is. I'm hoping, wishing, praying, and all that old good stuff that you have a prosperous and joyful life and make sure that y'all doing it on purpose. This is NB. I got the screen frozen. I'm dropping so much knowledge, they got to freeze me. Well, I'm not a rapper, but I can start talking. I can tell you how my screen got frozen in the darkness. And guess what? I was dropping knowledge and they didn't want me to stop it. So I kept on dropping and I kept on popping. Heads start flying. Nah. Yeah. I'm not a rapper, as I stated. I'm just a healer. I'm here to take your first eye on a higher elevation. All right? Peace. I'm out of here. Make sure you're being good to yourself. And you're doing it on purpose. This is Nate the Great YouTube video. All right? No cash app needed. You don't need to donate. You don't even need to like this shit.